Welcome back, everybody, to the One-Up Nitro National Series year number 2. This is 2022 time for the Nitro National Series drivers. 40 of them line up to take the green flag here today at the Pensacola Superspeedway. It's going to be a lot of fun, as it was a year ago. Will we see an upset take victory here once again for the second year in a row? Only time will tell. Alongside me in the booth today, as always for the Nitro National Series, is Duke Ansack for the race here today. And, well, it's been a few months since we last saw these cars on track, but if last year's finale is anything to go off of, this season should be just as good, if not better.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is absolutely a thriller every single week in this series. You know I love this series. It's always a ton of fun to watch. And we've got a bunch of new stuff going on this year, just like every year. You know, there's always a bunch of new stuff, and I am absolutely excited to see what all these drivers can do. All the storylines that are going to come up through this season, all the drama, all the playoffs at the end of the year, and it all starts tonight. So exciting. It was so ready to get this thing going.
And I'm sure all 40 of our drivers are looking forward to the start of the season as well, as we can give you the starting grid for today's Wyndham 300 at Pensacola. We have a massive upset on pole position here. John McFadden, after a season a year ago where with a best start of 31st, he claims pole position at Pensacola for the first time in his career. And Joshua Michaels, a transplant from the Superstar Series, lines up alongside him in second. Rookie Ryan Arnold third. Aaron Hall, returning driver in this number 7, lines up fourth. And a turbo truck driver, Robert Weaver, rounds out the top 5. Of course, we can't forget year 2 drivers, Elijah Ironhouse and Alex Verget-Peru, both back for a second season. They start 7th and 9th. And we've got a lot of drivers moving down a series from the Superstar Series to give this series a try. And some new faces in new places, some rookies dotting the field. What's the biggest story to you in your eyes, I imagine?
You know, it's there's so many different stories. I think that John McFadden getting the pole is big. That's a huge story going into this race for sure. But I really think that all the guys who have a lot of experience from this season or from the last season coming into this season are going to have a big advantage. They know these cars well. They know the circuit. They know what it's going to take to win. They saw it last year. They experienced it. They were part of it last season. So I really think that they're going to bring a different level to the playing field this year. And then, of course, all the drivers that are coming down from the Superstar Series, they've raced in a higher competition prior to this season. So, you know, it's going to be fascinating to see how they do and just how it all plays out this year. Some teams have done a lot over the offseason. I know that Team Duke has made a lot of changes and done a lot of great stuff during the offseason, and I'm sure that every other team is in a similar situation where there are changes happening. Everybody's getting better and better and better. So it's going to be a lot to learn in this race going into this season. It's a long season ahead as well. So this is just only the beginning.
So with that being said, we have 40 drivers ready to take the green, and we're ready to bring you the action. It is the One-Up Nitro National Series from Pensacola. The Wyndham 300 gets the season started, and the green flag coming up right next. With John McFadden on the inside of row number 1, Joshua Michaels to his outside. The Nitro National Series getting set to get underway in 2022. The green flag is out. We are underway from Pensacola, and Joshua Michaels beats McFadden off the line. That's a bit of an interesting thing to keep an eye out for. No penalty for that in these series, but Michaels is the one who takes the lead going into turn 1. McFadden starting to get swallowed up by the pack of just a little bit.
Yeah, that was a big move from the outside lane. It was just a big push, I think, from that 07 car, or not the 07, just the 7 now. But yeah, that was a huge push. This 18 car is starting to pull away a little bit. You don't want to get too far ahead. There's going to be a big run from everybody behind coming in the draft. We'll see if they eat him up and pass him here, those Chevys on the inside. Looking strong so far for the 18 car, however.
It looks like Robert Weaver from the Truck Series, after a strong run in that race, making a run to the inside to take the lead from Joshua Michaels with a push from Elijah Ironhouse. Robert Weaver comes up to take the lead, and he will lead lap number 1. Looking to be One-Up Racing's oldest winner at age 54. He's looking to make his presence known, and after a close miss in the truck race last night, he's looking to capitalize here as Ironhouse goes for the lead now.
Yeah, that was a strong. Basically, what happened there for the pass for the lead was the 18 got so far out ahead on that great start, just had no draft, had no pushing out there, and then everybody came charging on the bottom. Nothing you could do. A block is pretty dangerous at this point in the race on what was only lap one. So now we've got the 81 car on the bottom of the track going for the lead. It's already starting cycle.
He's got help from his teammate. These are the top two finishers in the championship last year. Defending champion Ryan Caggiano and his teammate Keon Daly. They're picking up right where they left off last year, coming off of turn 4. Caggiano leads lap number 2, and we're already seeing 3 and 4 wide throughout the entire pack. There's Kenneth Grant.
5 wide.
Five wide for in some places. There's Kenneth Grant, the winner of this race last year. He's back for more, this time in a number 53. And Grant moves up to third, trying to push Ryan Caggiano out clear of Ironhouse. They are so close together. The big one lurks around every corner. You can never be too careful around this place.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Look at that.
Ooh, I saw two cars leaning against each other there near the back of the pack. But we say green for the time being. It's Caggiano and Ironhouse side by side.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild racing right now. It's lap 3 of a 50-lapper, folks. This is, I mean, so far the longest race of Speed Weeks here, and they're already starting to go a little bit wild in the beginning of this thing. Hopefully it doesn't go bad for anybody. They're really, really close back in the pack. I mean, 5 wide, there's plenty of room for it on this track, but boy, does it still get tight with all these cars trying to find that bottom lane and make it shorter around this track to go faster.
There's 2 rookies pushing Ryan Caggiano out to lead. 3 of them now. David Wells in the 56, Nathan Meyer in the number 5, and Talon Soapblue in the 38 for Jeff Bolton Racing. This is the car Mark Davey drove a year ago, and that powered him the 3 wins. Let's see if the new driver of the 38 can equal that, as the 38 now moves into second, pushing Ryan Caggiano out to the race lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're starting to see this. Basically what's happening is this cycle, you know, and we see it at every race here. You get a run on the bottom, and then you make it to the front, and then as soon as you get to the front, you move up a little bit, trying to stop the runs from there. The inside lane dumps you, basically. They say, all right, we don't need you around here anymore, and then they take the lead from you, and the same thing starts to happen over and over again. So we're watching that inside lane just move farther and farther ahead and chug along down there. We're starting to see all these names, so really where you want to be is that bottom lane. And I would not, if I'm in this pack right now, if I'm thinking, man, I do not want to be in the very middle. You don't want to be on the inside or outside lane in this pack right now. It is risky back there.
Absolutely. So as Talon Soapblue leads lap number 5 for his first lap sled of his career, Eric Monaco pushing him along. Oh, and it looks like we have an accident, a big accident in the back of the pack. Kyle Corbett's involved. Elijah Ironhouse after such a strong run. Alexa Lucian is involved. Austin Montgomery had such a strong run in qualifying. His race is over like that. Ricky Freeman Jr. in his first Nitro National start, done for the race. Kyle Corbett, John McFadden, the pole sitters involved in this one. Keon Daly, after such a strong run, involved in this accident as well. Oh my goodness, we knew it was coming with such a big pack rolling along on this track. We just knew it was coming, and the disastrous big one strikes as they race back to the caution flag. 3 wide still, got plenty of cars still in the lead path, but it's Eric Monaco that leads them across the line to the yellow on lap number 6.
Boy, that was a big wreck right there. It was. I don't think we saw any cars go upside down. We might have. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was a big one. It was probably just a case of people all being together in one place where not 2 cars can fit. You know, so it's just like every time here. It's nobody's fault really, ever. It's just people racing really hard in this race, trying to get to the front, trying to get to the bottom. Yeah, it's hurt a lot of good race cars in this one.
Yep, there's Hayes Green, a rookie in the 51 for Grant Racing, making his first series start. It will end early on lap number 7. And that, just like that, yeah, Ricky Freeman Jr., his race is done. Austin Montgomery had such a good qualifying effort to put himself into this field. He missed the truck race, of course, but he made this one and was hoping to do well in his only scheduled Nitro National start of the season, but he won't even make it to 1/5 distance. He is out on lap number 7. It'll be interesting to see how this originated, but I have a good feeling as to how it started. Two cars get together side by side, oh so close, and then they just wash up into the outside wall, and then from there it's stack up city.
Yeah, that's typically how they happen here. That's what I was saying. You really don't want to be when there's a big pack. You don't want to be in that middle to high lane. I guess if there's 4 lanes, those 3 that are above the bottom, you don't really want to be there, especially if you're farther back in the pack, because you're just going to get caught up in it. You know, it'll happen in front of you, and there's nothing you can do.
Yep, so it looks like most of the damaged cars will head to pit road. Nicky Martinez, Alexa Lucian, Elijah Ironhouse. And these cars were contenders for the win before this happened. They all were. So Alexa Lucian pulls into her pit. She's going to try and repair that number 50. An all-new look for that number 50 car as well. Alex Verget-Baru with a little bit of damage. He should be able to get back into this race fairly unscathed. Nicky Martinez is going to have a longer road to fixing that car as we get over. So this is where Nicky Martinez is running, and I believe this is where it starts. He just washes up into Hayes Green. Oh, yeah. Kyle Corbett involved in this one. AJ Jones and Dylan Young were very lucky to miss that, the 86 and the 92. But Alexa Lucian, not so lucky, backs into Nicky Martinez. Austin Montgomery with DNF in his only race of the season. That's got to hurt for the driver of that number 30. It just goes to show the big one can strike at any point, and it can hit anywhere and anyone.
Yeah, that was an awful accident. I'm glad we didn't see anybody go upside down, however. I think that's a big positive so far in this race.
So Ricky Freeman Jr. was running at the very tail end of the pack when this started. He's on the bottom where he needs to be, but Austin Montgomery just tags him in the wrong spot. And Freeman, gets hit by Hayes Green, and the damage is done from there. His race, over in a matter of laps here at Pensacola. A tough break for everybody involved. But like you said, we're just glad it didn't get any worse than it already was. So we're on board now with Austin Montgomery. This is quite a wild ride for the rookie driver at number 30. And you can see he's right behind where this whole mess starts. Nowhere to go. And he just gets backed into, and from there, he's just off for the ride.
Wow, if they're able to fix that 8 car, I mean, I know it's my crew, but if they're able to fix that car after that big impact, I mean, that was pretty much the origin of the crash. It's going to be impressive if they can stay out there and at least stay with the pack, much less contend after that.
Yep, so with Austin Montgomery's race over in a matter of laps, we're under caution for the first time here at Pensacola, and the hopes of so many who wanted to win this race gone early. Ricky Freeman Jr. so good on the super speedways, but he just had nowhere to go in this one. He will be out of the race on lap number 6, and now Eric Monaco leads the field under caution flag with the two Motor Dash racing cars. They made the switch to Toyota over the offseason. And they've got Chris Lattimore second, Logan Williams third. Williams finished second in this race a year ago, so that 23 knows how to get to the front. But as you can see, we have 5 cars out of the race. Keon Daly, Elijah Ironhouse, Hayes Green, Ricky Freeman Jr., and Austin Montgomery out of the race already. And we've got several others with heavy amounts of damage that'll be well off pace for the rest of the night.
Yeah, they went in there trying to fix that car, decided it was definitely too damaged. Yeah, that was a big wreck. But you know, it's just the nature of the beast here at Pensacola. It's one of those things that it's always going to happen. You always have to be wary. You always have to be careful. And they just stacked up right there, a bunch of cars in the same place, and crashed out of it.
Yep, so looking at the pace car now, the lights are out on the pace car. We'll be going green next time by to start lap number 11. Eric Monaco leads this race with the 2 Motor Dash cars in second and third, then Talon Soapblue in fourth, and then the new driver of the number 1, which was Logan Williams' car last year, now driven by James Wells, is in fifth. Then you got Yates Terzic, who's going to split time between his own number 57, and the Carter Racing System 00. He will line up in 6th, ahead of Cyan Rivers in 7th, Cody Goforth 8th, Autumn Koger 9th, and rookie Rasha Mahendra rounding out the top 10. This is going to be an interesting restart, and I hope these guys will take it a little bit easier now than they did in the opening stint.
Yeah, that's what you hope. And now that everybody's seen a big wreck, now that we know there are cars in the garage, that you'd hope that everybody would kind of take it easy. However, usually they don't. So it's kind of like the situation where, you know, you've got a bunch of cars in this race and they all wreck, and you're like, oh man, now what are we gonna do? We can't have another wreck, and all these drivers, all they care about is trying to get to the front, trying to win this race. And if there's wrecks along the way, that's how it has to be. So they're gonna race hard. They're gonna be 3 wide within a half lap and a half. You know, it's gonna get crazy again pretty quickly here, and we'll have to see. You know, on these restarts, single file around the outside, you have to watch to see which cars jump out to the bottom. They're typically going to be the ones that have the best chance of taking the lead early in this run. And we've seen in the past, people who take the lead early on restarts will hold it for a while. So we'll just have to watch and see what happens here. It's going to be exciting. They're all bunched up together as if they weren't before. But we're coming to the green flag right now.
So Eric Monaco leads the way with the 2 Moto Dash Racing teammates back there. We'll see how well they perform together. This is their first race working together as teammates on that Toyota team. As they come off turn 4, pace car is off, and we're back underway at Pensacola. Monaco leads, Lattimore second, Williams third, as Monaco gets a pretty big jump on the field. Yeah. Rivers looks like he's the first one to jump to the high side, and Talon Sopler jumps to the bottom, trying to split up the Moto Dash pair.
Yeah, that was a huge start from Eric Monaco. That was unbelievable. We'll see if he's able to block this run here. It's not going to be multiple lanes. It's just going to be that one lane led by the 87 car behind. We'll see. Ooh, he's going to jump to the top, and Chris Lattimore is going to get underneath. Maybe it looks like he will. So this is going to be side by side for the lead going through 3 and 4. But now the help is up on top with the 38 car behind. But there's no momentum up there. So the 87, Chris Lattimore takes the lead coming through turn 3 and 4.
With help from rookies James Wells and Yates Terzic in the 57. This is going to be something to keep an eye on, as your friends are where you find them at this place. Yeah. And Chris Lattimore takes the lead for the first time today. But here comes James Wells on the inside in that Synovus Dodge, with help from Yates Terzic and Autumn Koger in the 19. This is her first full season in the series, and after the run she had at Homestead last year, she's got to be a favorite for wins right out of the gate.
For sure. You know, that one car is looking really good. And then, here, you know, we've got a bunch of new faces up front right now. A bunch of people that haven't been up front a lot in this race. You know, that really shuffled up the field, that crash did, and then when they raced back to the yellow. But now we've got that 18 car who took the lead early in this race back up there again. So we're going to have to see. But look at that. After just 2 laps, they were single file coming to the restart, and now they're 4 wide again.
And we've got trouble once again. Cody Goforth is involved in this one. Austin Tyler, Glenn Mixon. Oh, my goodness. Kevin Carter's in this one. Cyan Rivers. Oh, we got one upside down, and it's Cody Goforth.
Oh, no, this is not good.
Zachary DeLello involved in this wreck. Cody Goforth. Logan Williams was running up in the front, but he is done for in this race. Ryan Arnold, Alex Verget-Berube, Zach Rogers, and they're going to be racing back to the yellow once again. James Wells and Yates Terzic side by side for the lead. The 57 has the advantage coming through 3 and 4, but I think that one car is going to get the run off the top. They're going to come back to the yellow flag, but I saw that impact from the 01. That was a heavy, heavy hit, and I'm looking forward to seeing this replay because I want to know for sure what happened in this one. This one was an even bigger hit than that first incident we had.
Yeah, and you know it was in that exact same spot. I wonder if there's just something right now. People, maybe the track narrows just a little bit going into the corner, but everybody kind of condenses in the pack when they head into that corner, and it just has not worked out so far. And
you see Kenneth Grant involved in this wreck, the winner of this race a year ago. He will not be winning it here today. Oh, and Dylan Young, He won 3 races last year. He's a championship favorite, but he will have a big points hole to dig himself out of after this race. He is done for. And now all of the Team Dayspring cars out of this race, with Ryan Arnold, Cody Goforth, and Zachary DeLello all being involved in this accident. None of them will see the end of this race. Nathan Meyer out of the race. Cyan Rivers with heavy damage. Glenn Mixon with some serious damage in that 34. Raiden Red in that 58. I'm just listing off names at this point because they're all involved in this heavy incident. Talon Soplu also involved. Eric Monaco, he was leading at the restart, but he's involved in this accident. We've got a lot of cars that will be, at the very least, off the pace, but in some cases, done for the night as well, as it looks like we'll have everybody come to pit road here. This should carry them to the end of the race.
Yeah, this is the type of thing right now. There's a great opportunity for all these cars that are still on this track. It's so early in this race to have so many cars out. All these drivers now that aren't going to win. This is a huge opportunity for everybody that remains on the track to keep it clean for the rest of this race and try to stay in it so you can win it at the end. We'll see how they come out of the pits after these pit stops. Like you said, the only ones of the day. Good to have them under yellow flag conditions.
So, pit stops underway then for the leading pack, and you can see it looks like, James Wells exits the pits first, and I think Yates Terzic will follow him out, but David Byers in the 27 and Patrick Smith in the 04 actually beat the 57 out of the pit, so Terzic will fall from second to fourth on the pit stops, but a lot of cars will not be leaving that pit lane. They are out of this race after a heavy crash on lap number 13. Just goes to show calamity can strike no matter where you are on this racetrack. Yeah. It looks like Cody Goforth is where this wreck starts. He's alongside Talon Sopler there in the high groove. And yep, it's exactly like what happened before. Oh, and Kevin Carter makes a hard impact with Austin Tyler. Zach Rogers is in this one. Cody Goforth. And oh my goodness, there was someone who came flying. Yeah, it was Alex in the 3 who came flying in at an incredible rate of speed and just nailed the side of the 01. That was a scary wreck for the 01. We'll have to get a look at it from Alex's perspective because I don't know if he slowed down that much. So Alex was well behind the pack after sustaining damage in that first incident. He was running with McFadden and Arnold, and he sees the wreck in front of him, but I don't know if his pedal went to the floor or what, but he just absolutely drills into the side of that 01 car, and that just spells the end for both their races, and so many others as well. We're hoping Cody Goforth is all right after that serious impact. With the 3 car, we'll have to see which side he hit on. He's going to be a wild ride on board with the 01 of Cody Goforth. He's running right in the middle of the pack. Just nowhere to go in this sort of situation happens. You just got to hold on for dear life. And the whiplash has got to be severe, and then I think it was the driver's door that Alex hit, and Goforth just slides several hundred feet down the apron on his roof. Man, that's not a wreck you want to have happen. If you're gonna have a wreck happen, you want it to be fairly low energy. That was very high impact. We hope we'll update you on Cody Goforth throughout the rest of the race, but we're only 15 laps in, and we only have 22 left.
Yeah, I'm curious. They were so far back, those cars. I'm curious if maybe there was oil on the track, or like you said, maybe the pedal went to the floor. They don't run very much brake at all at this track, just because you never really expect to use it. It's such a big track. You're only using it to get into the pit lane. A lot of the time, when you're going into the pits, it's under caution already. So you don't need big brakes here. So you run a smaller brake package, lighter brake package, helps you in the long run at this place. But man, when you get into a crash like that, or you see it happen in front of you, it's you got to get out of the way or start hitting that brake or move a little bit or something. That's just scary stuff.
So we'll be going back to green on lap number 18. The lights are out on the pace car with James Wells out in the lead of this race. David Byers in second, Patrick Smith third, Yates Terzic fourth, and Robert Weaver rounds out the top 5. Santiago Alvarez 6th, Joshua Michaels 7th, A.J. Jones 8th, Mahendra 9th, and Aaron Hall rounds out the top 10. We're going to come to another restart, and after a wreck like that, you would hope that the temperament goes down, but you got to realize at Pensacola, there's no letting up.
Yeah, I mean, now it's you have to think about the mindset of these drivers, these teams, the people who are telling them what they think they should be doing here. It's now all these drivers have a shot at a win. Their percentage of the percent chance they have of being able to win this race has gone up significantly since it started. If you're still out there on the track without any damage, of course. So, you're looking at all these drivers here, and they're all hungry. They want to get the first win of the season. They want to be on top of the points chart at the end of the day. I mean, a win solves so many problems for a team, and of course this is race 1. A lot of drivers starting in a hole now after that big a series of big crashes, but all these drivers have the opportunity to get themselves a big trophy at the end of the day. So I don't expect the intensity to go down. However, there are fewer cars now, so we might not see that 3-wide action simply because there aren't enough cars to do it. So we'll have to find out once this thing goes back green.
And realistically, of these 22 cars still in the race, only about half are in fighting shape to win this race. The others are going to be well off the pace. So we've got James Wells leading this race. Pace car's going to get ready to make the hard left turn on the pit road. Got 22 still in the race, all of whom are on the lead lap, but not all of them are in fighting shape to win at this rate. But going into the restart zone, James Wells leads them to the green flag.
That's a big move from the 27 on the outside, but nobody has gone with. So now it's going to be a race to get back to the bottom if there's room for the 27. Looks like not. It's going to be help from the 57, maybe. Yes. So that was a rough, a tough break on the restart for the 27 car there on the outside lane. But the 1 car keeps the lead coming onto the backstretch.
But for how long is the question? Because here comes Patrick Smith. He was the Rookie of the Year in the Superstar Series last year, and he was expected to contend for wins in that series. But he chose to go down to this series full-time, as Robert Weaver now takes the lead with help from Terzic. But Patrick Smith, he's got to be one of the top threats for the championship now. With the Superstar experience he has, he's been close to winning races over there. That 04 of Monster Motorsports has got to be in the conversation for championship favorites. I know we're not even halfway through race 1, but it's never too early to start talking about the title.
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned it in the opener, so this is it's always good to start talking about who we've got for the championship, and so far this race, I don't know if this is such a good indicator as far as who is going to perform well based on their performance here. We've had a lot of heavy hitters taken out of this thing already, but something I'm seeing here in this race is that they're only 2 wide, as I kind of said. Well, of course they're 3 wide right now, but there just aren't a lot of cars left, and I know that there are a bunch of cars off pace right now, so we'll have to see how those cars come into play. If we get a lot of green flag laps, we might have a situation with some lap cars, and as we've seen before at this track already this week, there's some problems sometimes with slower cars on the track, blocking certain lanes. If you're not able to get around, it could cause you to lose the lead and go all the way to the back of the lead group. So we'll see how that plays out later in this race.
And here to the lead is Ryan Caggiano, the defending series champion, with help from rookie Tyler Ferris. This is the car that won here a year ago with Kenneth Grant driving, but Ferris is proving that car hasn't lost a step at all. He's going for the lead with help from fellow rookie Mahendra in the 6, and now Tyler Ferris takes the lead. He failed to qualify for the truck race that took place last night, but this is where he runs full time, and he's looking to get a point for leading a lap, and he gets it.
Yeah, that was a good run off the bottom there. Typically we see the runs come off of the top lane down the straightaway at least, and then the bottom prevails through the corner. So interesting to see that bottom lane coming out of the onto the straightaway there, the front stretch, and then here's that 18 car again. That car is just in this thing and has a genuine shot. One of the faster cars that remains on this track, just because we've seen him up there quite a bit today in this 21 laps that we've completed so far. It feels like it's been a lot longer than just 21 laps, but we're moving through this race at a pace, at a rate, nonetheless.
So it's Tyler Ferris. He might even lead his second consecutive lap of this race coming off of turn 4. That's going to be close to the line, but he does. Ferris leads 2 laps in a row. Not something you see too often at these super speedway races, but it's a welcome gift for Tyler Ferris. Let racking up the laps led, and he gets a point for that too. But looking to his right and seeing the defending series champion up there, there's got to be some nerves going up against that Prada Toyota.
Yeah, for sure. He's kind of the guy you have to beat. Everybody goes into this season thinking, okay, how do I win the championship? And it starts with beating the guy that won it last year. And that's the car that's out there. But right now, he's got no friends, no help on that outside lane for a couple rows back. So it's going to allow these guys to spread out in the front. And the 55 car is going to lead yet another lap.
But I don't know if he's going to lead the next one, because here comes Yates Terzic on the bottom with a little bit of help from Robert Weaver down on the bottom. Like I said before, Yates Terzic is an interesting story to follow throughout the season. He's going to run all of the companion races this year in his own number 57 Ford, and that's the car he's driving here today. But in all the standalone races for the Nitro National Series, he's going to hop in the 00 for Carter Racing System.
Yeah.
In the events that Kevin Carter and Sam Donotto cannot race, Terzic will hop behind the wheel of that car and hopefully contend for some wins along the way. So Terzic's an interesting story, and if he can get a good run in this car, he should bode well for next week at Road Atlanta, where he will be behind the wheel of that 00.
Absolutely, and that is a fast car. Last season, we saw that car compete for the regular season title, and then a little bit in the playoffs as well. So, that is a bad fast car he'll be sitting in. So, that's a fantastic opportunity for Terzic.
But he's lost the lead now to Rasha Mahendra, the Indonesian driver out of Motor Dash Racing. He takes the lead of this race for the first time. Not sure if he's going to keep it when he gets back to the line, because here comes James Wells in that number 1, another one of those fast cars we mentioned in this race, and he's got another Dodge pushing him, the 86. That was driven by Kyle Corbett last year, but now it's A.J. Jones behind the wheel of that 86. First opportunity for A.J. Jones to contend for wins and titles in the Genesis Engineering equipment. Mahendra leads that lap by the thinnest of margins, but keep an eye out, because we still got about 12, 13 cars that are capable of winning this race, and I'm sure all of them are looking forward to spraying the bubbly when this thing's all over.
Yeah, for sure. And this right now, we've seen all these drivers in this pack kind of be near the front. So it's really going to come down to timing and how you're going to be able to place yourself coming to the finish of this race. So it's all about learning right now. All these drivers are learning which cars are better in the front, which cars are better pushing me, which cars are going to be the ones that take me to the front. It's going to be all about that kind of thing until we get down to the last 5 laps of this race. And to be completely honest, I have a feeling this is going to go green for quite some time, at least until they start catching lap cars, because these guys are not being nearly as aggressive as they were when they were 3 and 4 wide with a full field of cars. Right now, this seems pretty tame in comparison, so I don't expect these guys to wreck. Of course, it's always possible, but right now, I don't feel like it's imminent.
I was just about to comment on how the Kings Motorsports duo of Michaels and Caggiano are working well together. They immediately split up as soon as I was going to talk about them, as Ryan Caggiano now takes the 3rd position away from teammate Joshua Michaels, and he's going for more. He's under Mahendra now for 2nd, but it's Aaron Hall, who was not in this race last year. He did not start his schedule until race 4 of 2021. So this is Hall's first time in the season opener at Pensacola. He's doing a pretty good job running among the leaders, avoiding all the accidents so far, but I don't think he's a match for Ryan Caggiano, at least not at this point.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what about Aaron Hall. Last season didn't start in the beginning, wasn't in anybody's minds, but as soon as he sat in that race car, got his first start in the fourth race last season, he was an instant contender, and he clawed his way back and made a big season out of it. So I expect him to be big time contender in some of these races for sure. And right now he's stuck on the outside middle lane right there. But yeah, this 81 car looks like he's the guy to beat right now.
As Santiago Alvarez in the 98 makes a dip down to the bottom to get underneath Patrick Smith. It doesn't look like it's going to work. But you're right, Caggiano has been the guy so far in this race. And remember, a year ago in this race, he blew the motor at about the halfway point of that race. So Caggiano has not made it to the end in the season opener before. He's looking to do it here, and he's got the best view in the field right now. He's leading the whole wet field of about 13 cars that are still in fighting shape to win this race. We've lost so many, and I'm sure there's going to be... Yep, here comes a lap car. Autumn Koger in the 19. Looks like she doesn't have damage, though, so if the field can pick her up, she might be an asset to these guys if they can pick her up in the pack, or if they can just breeze right by her. That is also an option. But, yeah, it looks like they're going single file around her. Oh, is Tyler Ferris? No, he jumps in line as well. She might hold up Michaels and Jones a little bit, but it's going to be interesting to see where she falls in here.
Yeah, honestly, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. We got a big move up to the bottom from the 04 car right there. But yeah, this 19, a little bit off pace, but not too bad. Not one of the slower cars at least. So that gives me hope that these guys, they've thinned out enough to allow for these lap cars to maybe go by easier. And now look at that 19 car keeping up with the pace. So just another car to worry about in this lead pack.
As we enter lap 30, we have 21 laps to go from Pensacola, and here's Patrick Smith in the 04, pushing Robert Weaver, who's pushing Ryan Caggiano, and Smith himself is being pushed by Tyler Ferris in the 55. Looks pretty single file for the most part. In the top 5 or 6, Hall and Terzic, and as soon as I say that, Patrick Smith makes a dive down to the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like Patrick Smith is getting racy. I mean, these guys really don't like to follow each other in these cars. I don't know if it's just the fact that these cars are the way they drive, if they don't really handle super good behind each other when there's nobody around. I can't really imagine that's the reason. But man, they are racy. Even when they have the opportunity to go single file for a while in this thing, they will jump out and make some moves. So it's always a charge to get to the front in the Nitro National Series.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck behind another car in that dirty air as they get into turn number 1 on lap 31. 20 laps to go. Ryan Caggiano leads the way. He's been dominating this race so far. And here comes another lap car, Raiden Red in the 58. Yeah. This one, I feel, is going to be a lot slower than Autumn Koger was before, as Aaron Hall makes a move for the lead into 3.
Yeah, that was originally a good move by Aaron Hall, but then lost his help. So we'll have to see where the 57 goes out of this corner. Looks like maybe to the bottom, to the middle, to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. Trying to take him 3 wide for the lead. That was unexpected. So a big move. Now they're all 3 wide for the lead coming up on this lap car. Well, they go back to 2 wide here, but this with this big of a pack now, they're kind of condensed a little bit. Coming up on that lapper, we're going to see this might hurt a few of these guys coming around once we finally catch that lap car that we're waiting on.
Yep, there he is. Raiden Red in the 58 Toyota, trying to stay out of the way as best he can, but with these guys side by side behind him, it's going to be... Ooh, that's close between himself and Aaron Hall. And, he's just weaving around all over the place, is Raiden Red, trying to get his best to get out of the way. But when these cars are 3 wide behind him, there's just no place you can go. As he looks to be holding up the middle lane right now, holding up Alvarez and A.J. Jones. So, yeah, Red, I don't think is going to be able to keep up with these guys like Autumn Koger did. You can see the damage on... Ooh, he almost hit David Byers there on the inside, the Brit competing in his first series start. But with Raiden Red now, for the most part, out of the way, now he's fully out of the way of these guys, and they've all gone single file now behind this group. Well, not anymore.
For long.
But that's allowed Aaron Hall and Ryan Caggiano to start pulling away. Of course, now they go side by side, so that'll allow the rest of the pack to catch them in a big hurry.
Yeah. That that was pretty standard practice, I'd say, for a lap car, especially one as slow as that one. I think that they all handled it well. They're going to condense back up and get right back to racing here on lap 34.
So Caggiano's leading this race. Behind him, the two Motor Dash Racing cars that are still in this race. Lattimore in the 87 and Mahendra in the 6. As their two teammates, Nathan Mayer and Logan Williams, are done for the day already. So these two are the only hope left for Motor Dash Racing, and they're doing a pretty good job running third and fourth, each of them pushing a fellow Toyota along. And they've got to be considered threats to win. I mean, Motor Dash Racing has come close to winning so many times before, especially if you look back to that Indianapolis race a year ago when they finished second and third to Mark Davey back then. But they had two different drivers back then. Now they're a 4-car team, and they're looking to make some noise as a 4-car operation here.
Yeah, and so far it's working out. We've got a couple of them right here fighting for the lead. But man, Ryan Caggiano is doing a masterful job to stay out front. We haven't seen anybody but him all race be able to stay out front like that, and he's just able to stay right ahead of Chris Lattimore and not let him or anybody else really pass. I mean, we saw Aaron Hall go by, but then Caggiano came right back after the lap car scenario, and we're watching this 81 car stay out front. It's going to be big coming to the end of this race to see if anybody can figure out how to take that car off the top.
We have 15 laps to go from Pensacola, and it's still anybody's guess which of these 12 cars, 13 cars, can win this race. Remember, Autumn Koger is that black and white, blue and pink car in the bottom, but she is a lap down. She is not a threat to win this race at the moment. But she can provide assistance to whoever she chooses. And right now, it's Tyler Ferris she's pushing along. She'd hope it's another Ford that she can push. But the only Fords I can see in this pack are, I think, Yates Terzic in the 57. And I think Santiago Alvarez in the 98. That's it. Most of this package, Toyotas, some Chevrolets in there, and a few Dodges as well. But only 2 Fords are up here mixing it up. Yeah, only 2, Terzic and Alvarez. So Koger's got limited options if she wants to help a blue oval to victory lane.
Yeah, that's a tough situation, with the way that the cautions happened, the way that the crashes were, and of course the starting grid all influence how many manufacturers are in the race and how many there are of each, So it's an interesting situation now that we've got so few Fords, but we've seen before that it doesn't really make a huge difference whether you're in a Chevy, Ford, Toyota, or Dodge here. I mean, they've all got a really great chance. Everybody bringing great cars to the track. And here's another lapper.
That's Alexa Lucian in the 50.
Oh,
Caggiano tries to duck low.
Wow.
But he does have to slow down, but he is able to get by the 50 of Lucian here. Man, Alexa Lucian has had a tough go of it in this race. She had a really strong Ford here, but she's just not able to keep touch with the leaders, and they just blow right by her in a big hurry, and the pack's starting to get single file again as a result.
Yeah, and the one constant that we've had so far through all of this is that Ryan Caggiano remains the leader.
Oh, here comes another lap car. Talon Soplu in the 38. I hate to interrupt, but this 38 car could be a chance. Oh, he swings down almost to cut off the 81. We mentioned that there were only 2 Fords in the lead pack, and we've just seen 2 more go a lap down here. Yeah. So Lucian and Soplu here really have got to get out of the way for these guys. As Caggiano comes up a little bit, maybe to break the toe off Robert Weaver. But, and here comes his team.
Big block.
Yeah, here comes Caggiano's teammate, Michaels. He's got to hope to block off that 18. Because Joshua Michaels has got to be a threat for the championship as well. He's got a load of superstar experience. He made the playoffs there a year ago. Yeah, he's done everything there is to do except get that first win. Could happen here today. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. And look at that. They've got the same equipment under the hood. So these two cars really are going to fight, and this is probably the last thing that Ryan Caggiano wanted to see right here. The 18 taking the lead, and he is dropping all the way back. There's nobody else on the outside. Of course, is going to get a little bit of help now with a little bit of a tow from ahead. But boy, oh boy, tough situation for the 81 car. Once you finally lose the lead, you're going all the way back.
So Joshua Michaels leads the way. We've got 11 laps to go now in this race, and we still got about 12 still in this race that can win it. We've seen pretty much everybody in this pack lead, except for maybe the 98, and maybe the 86 as well. But we still got a lot of good cars still in contention. We got Michaels, got Lattimore, and of course that one car of James Wells moving to the bottom. We've seen him lead quite a bit today. And remember, that car with Logan Williams at the wheel finished second in this race a year ago. So the Full Frontal Motorsports group has brought some good equipment with them to these super speedways. We now have 10 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating here. I'm curious about how fast that 81 car can get back up to the front, if he can get back up to the front. You can see him. He's the last car on the outside lane right now, so we're going to wait and see if he can get down to the bottom of the track. That's where you want to be if you're making moves.
Looks like he did. Yeah.
So this is going to be fascinating to watch. Of course, we've got a lot of other fast cars up here now that the 18 is ahead. I feel like everybody maybe thinking fresh meat, try to get up there, make a move.
I hate to cut in here, but it looks like we had one duck on the pit road with an issue. It's the 55 of Tyler Ferris. So his hopes of bringing the 55 to victory lane here 2 years in a row will not bear fruit. But we still have 9 laps to go, and we still got a lot of good ones still in this race. Michaels leads the way ahead of Mahendra in second.
Yeah, so this Joshua Michaels is looking really good. Same kind of speed that 81 car had, just looking really, really good out front. Good leading this draft. Nobody is able to really get a big run. We'll see if that 6 car can drop low. Of course, the 19 car still up there, mixing it up. Yeah, here comes the move from the 6. We'll see what happens. The 19 stays up, maybe to help the 18. I don't know. This is going to be fascinating. Aaron Hall has really gotten a good push on this 6 car, and that 18 has lost the lead coming out of turn 4.
So it's Rashka Mahendra that takes the lead of this race with now 8 laps to go at the line. Mahendra leads with help from Aaron Hall, and Patrick Smith's moving down to the bottom as well. They're 4 wide for third. Koger's not a part of that battle, but the rest are, and here comes Ryan Caggiano once again. He's back up into the mix, pushing Mahendra. I'm sure he'd rather be pushing his teammate up top, but this gives him the opportunity to move to the bottom, and that is exactly what he does. Ryan Caggiano's got to be in a really good position to win this race.
Yeah, he got left out to dry right there, but it's okay because he got the momentum around the bottom lane. And the 18, dropped down in front of him, dropped down. Joshua Michaels, there he goes. He's going to drop down, block the other fastest car in this race. Those 2 cars, 18 and the 81, really are going to be fighting it out for this thing. I am excited to see them get side by side because, man, oh man, those cars are fast. And we got something going on in the back. There's contact and spinning. The 27 involved, the 1, oh gosh.
3 cars involved in this accident. Patrick Smith, David Byers, and James Wells, after such a strong run, they will likely be knocked out of contention. Now, it's come down to 9 cars as we make our way back to the caution flag. Raiden Red's just ahead of these guys. He's already a lap down. He could go 2 down if they beat him to the line. Caggiano's going to make a move on his teammate. This is critical for who leads at the caution flag. This could be major, and it looks like it'll be Ryan Caggiano off of 4, putting Michaels up to the high side. He comes up to block the 18, and yes, it will definitely be Caggiano who leads him to the caution flag. Our third of the day, and it looks like Raiden Red's engine finally let go on him. He had so much damage from that incident earlier in the race, and he tried to push it as hard as he could for as long as he could to make it to the end, but that Phantom Fury Motorsports Toyota just will not make it, and Raiden Red will experience a DNF in this race. But we've got caution on the racetrack with 6 laps to go. Oh boy, this is where the fun begins.
Yeah, that was absolutely critical, like you said, to get to the line first on that one. You want to start in the lead, coming to the green flag whenever it is. Hopefully, it's a relatively quick cleanup here. Few cars pitting probably, so we'll have to see if they're able to get going green with a reasonable amount of laps left. What do you think? Is there a one lap shootout coming up here? Maybe
1 or 2 laps potentially, but we'll of course get you a replay of what happened to Wells, to Byers, and to Patrick Smith, because that's always what we do. But as you can see, James Wells has caught up to the tail end of the field, but he does have a little bit of damage on the front end of that number 1 Dodge. And yeah, a 1 or 2 lap shootout is not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen it already at Speed Weeks, so you just never know what can happen. But I imagine that the damaged vehicles behind the pace car will be pitting for a little bit of repair. Maybe not.
Wow.
You got to think, they might be thinking there's so few laps in this race, you might as well just finish it off with what you got, because the damage isn't too bad on any of them, really. So they were 4 wide. Now it's down. Yeah, they're still 4 wide with Wells, Byers, and I think that those two that get together here. And Patrick Smith's just an innocent victim here.
Yeah, they just got hooked together. Maybe a little bit of desperation, running in the back of this group here, especially with the one car, so fast. I mean, all of them have been fast today, and they remained in this race. Everybody's got a shot. So, yeah, they all just came together right there, and that's that. So, none of them have bad enough damage to be out of this race, luckily.
We're on board now with Patrick Smith. You can see he's focused ahead on the 57, but there's no space for him to go anywhere when Wells and Byers get together, and this point reaches a passenger.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing you can do. They're wrecking below you, and they came up, popped them in the wall there, and then everybody gets going again. So this has set us up for quite the finish, however, and this is going to be something special.
So, with that being said, we're currently cycling around on behind the pace car. Ryan Caggiano leads the way with 5 laps to go. It'll be interesting because we had a 2-lap shootout earlier in the Speed Weeks, and that produced a thrilling finish that we'll won't forget anytime soon. So we might see one here today as well, and unlike that other finish we saw earlier in Speed Weeks, everybody at the front has undamaged race cars, so
yeah,
we'll be able to have a fairer fight to the finish here. I don't know, though. It's going to be interesting. It all depends on when that pace car goes lights out.
One there.
Not yet, so we'll have at most a 2-lap shootout to decide the winner of this race.
Yeah, so this is going to be fascinating. It's going to be all about who can get to the bottom lane and how quick, how good of a restart can you get here? I'm watching that 18 car in 3rd place. He's been fast all day. Can he plan with the cars behind to get a big push on the restart? I don't know. And then for the 81, it's all about blocking and don't get too far ahead. We've seen it in this race. We saw it to start this race. If you get too far ahead, you're just going to get freight trained and you're going to the back. There's not going to be enough time if you go to the back to catch back up to the front. As fast as that car has been, there just won't be enough time. So it's going to be all about this restart, I think. Just who is able to stay out front, who's able to get out front, and who's able to bring them back around. It's going to be fascinating. We're hoping for the lights to go out next time so we can get more laps of racing.
Yep, so it's 3 Toyotas leading, a Dodge and a Ford in the top 5. The first Chevrolet being Robert Weaver in 7th. So Caggiano leads the way with Lattimore 2nd, Michaels 3rd, AJ Jones 4th, and Yates Terzic from 39th on the grid is currently still in the top 5. So a great run from that 57, and this is the car we didn't expect him to perform as well in. Once he gets to Road Atlanta in that double zero, that is going to be a dangerous combination to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna be laughing at everybody thinking, the double zero is the good car. You haven't seen mine yet. So that's a great story, in this race, and then I'm sure it'll get even better throughout this season. So we're waiting to see now if those lights are gonna go off.
So
contingent on
Yeah,
that.
so as Yates Terzic continues to have his car measuring contest with the rest of the field, we're coming to the line here. And will the lights go out on the pace car? That is the big question. At the line, yes, they will. We will have 2 laps of racing, just as we had earlier in the week, to decide a winner in the Nitro National Series season opener.
All right, this is gonna be a lot of fun. We've talked about it already on the last time around, but boy, this is gonna be just really fast. It's gonna be a strategic situation on this restart. You know, it's this whole race so far has been all about raw speed everywhere. You know, got to go the fastest, got to be in the best lane, got to do this, got to do that, and be the fastest. You know, be ahead. But right now, it's all about strategy. How can you pass guys on this restart, because that's all you have really to finish this race off. So boy, I am excited. This is going to be another fantastic finish at Pensacola Super Speedway here. It's going to be a goodie.
Yep, so with half a lap to go until the restart, it is Caggiano leading this race. He has never won on a super speedway before, and he's looking to achieve that here today, but you have to consider that the guys behind him don't really care about that, because everyone from 2nd through 7th, they have never won a race of any kind. So they are looking to get their first career win at all, and they don't really care if Caggiano's not won on a super speedway. They want a win of their own. So we're going to get 2 laps of racing, and we'll see if Ryan Caggiano can hold on to this. He's the defending series champion. He has 2 career wins. He's looking for his 3rd, but I don't know. With such fast cars behind him, he's going to have to give it 110% on this restart.
Yeah, and all these drivers, the anticipation is building now. You know, they know they're coming around that last corner. They know this is it. This is the end of the race coming up right here for sure. You have to get ahead, and as soon as possible. Here it comes. The pace car is going to dive down on the track, and it's the pressure is rising. Everybody's getting up on the wheel, pulling those belts tight. Here we go. 2 more laps in this thing. They're coming to the green.
Ryan Caggiano gets a good jump on the restart, but critically, Lattimore stays right with him. Is he going to make a move to the bottom? Oh, yes, he does. Michaels goes with him. No, he doesn't. They're going down to the bottom of the racetrack. And it's 3 wide for the lead. It's deja vu from last night all over again. Michaels to the lead of this race, with Lattimore slots in the 2nd. Ryan Caggiano falls back to 3rd. I just worry that he might fall even further behind, because there's Yates Terzic in the 57 to his inside now. Michaels to the lead of this race.
Yeah, you really got to get to the bottom there if you're Ryan Caggiano. I don't think it's going to happen now. I feel like that outside lane isn't going to go anywhere here. Look at that 72 car. That's who I've got my eyes on. The 72, the 7 on the bottom. They're going to be the guys challenging the 18 for the lead. But who has been able to pass the 18 today other than the 81? Nobody. So we're going to have to see if anybody's got it tonight in the final lap of this race.
White flag in the air one more time around from Pensacola. It is Joshua Michaels leading the way, with Robert Weaver 2nd. Remember, Joshua Michaels has done everything in this sport aside from win a race. He's about 2 miles away from doing just that. Coming off turn 2 for the final time, it's going to be close between these 3 at the front. Could Mahendra pose a challenge and work with Hall? No, he's not.
Hall is in the bottom. We're going to see. I don't know if that was the right move.
That only helps Michaels here.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I don't think that they're close enough to pass Michaels. Man, he has got a great lead right now coming to the finish.
Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. He's done everything right. He's made a change over the offseason, and it's going to pay off in a big way. Joshua Michaels wins the Wyndham 300 at Pensacola for his first 1-Up Series win of any kind in his first race with Kings Motorsports. That is how you get the season started in the right way. Aaron Hall comes across the line 2nd in his first Pensacola start in the spring. Robert Weaver, he had a great run in the truck race last night, and he backs it up with another top 5 here. 3rd for Robert Weaver. Yates Terzic gets his season off to an incredible start in 4th. And Mahendra in the 6th rounds out the top 5. AJ Jones 6th. Ryan Caggiano fell back to 7th at the end, with Chris Lattimore 8th. Alvarez 9th. And then you got to go all the way back to James Wells, about a 1.5 seconds back, to round out the top 10. Joshua Michaels did everything right. It was his teammate Ryan Caggiano that dominated the race, but you don't need to lead the most laps to win this race. There's only one you need to lead, and Michaels was up front when it counted.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that car was just absolutely unbeatable. You know, I mean, every time that 18 or that 81 got out front, nobody was passing except for each other. So this was a huge heartbreak for Ryan Caggiano. Leading at the restart, got pushed 3 wide in turn 1. You know, one of them being his teammate that pushed him down there. So a huge heartbreak for the 81, but the 18 on the flip side of it, sitting in victory lane after that. So very well done. Great race overall, and man, oh man, it just gets me excited for this season. It's gonna be action packed. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm amped up after that.
So we go from one wreck-strewn race to potentially another wreck-strewn race next week at Road Atlanta for race number 2 of the 1UP Nitro National Series season, and the first on a road course. We don't have Mark Davey in this series anymore, so he's not going to be contending for the win, but boy, we've got a lot of road racing kings still in this sport. We've got Alex Rajep-Rube, he's looking to rebound after a disappointing DNF here today, and we've got Dylan Young, who's looking to rebound. We've got a lot of big names looking to get back caught up. And of course, we're looking forward to every race this season. We still got 24 more races to go, and we hope you're going to enjoy them as much as we are. So, from Duke Ansek and from myself as well, we say goodbye for now from the Pensacola Superspeedway, and Joshua Michaels is going to be celebrating big time. He is the winner of a chaotic Wyndham 300, the first career win for the number 18 driver. He's one of the favorites going into the season, and he's proved it here today. He is the winner after a chaotic day at Pensacola.